So anyway, so without further ado, because we mentioned our next guest, because as I said we have a packed show of guests, we've still got a phone interview coming later with Barony Long from Missing People, which I'm excited to talk to him about. But first of all, I'd like to welcome Maria and Ryan to the show. Hello, guys.
Hello.
Hello. Thank you.
Hello. Thanks for being here. I'm here every 2 weeks, Ryan. But no, thank you for being here. It's an immense pleasure. And I apologise for making you wait. I heard you were hovering around, as it were. I hope not
hover.
Yeah, not literally. I hope.
Sitting down, so I was happy.
You didn't happen to find a hovercraft or whatever it is.
If
what is
only.
it? Hovercraft is what it is. Yeah, the claimed in 80s films are going to happen. Still waiting patiently. But yeah, so you guys are talking on moving on Tyne and Weir, which is obviously Maria. You are you associated with them, and Ryan, you've used their services. Is that correct?
Yes, for the past 3 months, I believe.
Brilliant. So that's obviously fantastic because we can talk about both dynamics, which is good because we had previous guests talking about that as well. So I guess Maria, to start us off, so can you tell us what that your organisation does?
Absolutely. So Moving on Tyne and Weir are funded by the Big Lottery and the European Social Fund, and we are a charity programme who support people with health barriers get closer to work, and those health barriers can be both physical or mental. So we are scheduled to accept people onto the programme until the middle of 2019.
Okay.
And in that period, we hope to support over 1,600 people across Tyne and Weir.
Brilliant.
The kinds of people that come on at the programme really vary. We have people with physical problems and mental problems, but often those things overlap. And the support they get is delivered on a one-to-one basis from teams of navigators, which are like support workers, essentially. They help navigate a path for people to get over their health barriers and find a way to get closer to work.
And yeah, it's for over 18s, is that right?
Absolutely, yeah.
Yeah, so that's great. So Ryan, I know that like if you were a woman, I'd be breaking some sort of rule here by asking how old you are.
I'm 19, although I will be 20 this month.
Okay, cool. I guess to start the ball rolling, because I guess this makes sort of sense in asking you this, is what made you, and be whatever you're comfortable, obviously
Ask us anything,
is just in relation to, well, that's good to know, is just in relation to how you got involved in the organisation and like what your circumstances were to start using Maria's services.
Well, I got being on Universal Credit now for just over a year now.
Oh, he's mentioned the horrible word, Universal Credit.
And
unfortunately, your time's up.
Every time someone mentions it, it's just full.
Yeah. Hasn't the mood just went worse? Yeah. Anyway, sorry. We talked about this earlier. Sorry.
Despite them, they're supposed to be trying to help me find jobs.
Correct.
Though the reality is of it's basically they check up on you every couple of weeks to see if you've been checking and helping. And for me, I have mental health issues and I also have dyslexia, which makes it extremely difficult looking for it because they use so many, techno-jargon words that I have no idea what they are on about. So basically, after, X amount of time, I was basically recommended to go on with Moving On, go on with them, and I'm now with Molly from Moving On, who's being helped me find work. And so this proves how difficult and how much technology that they use in job search that it was extremely difficult for her, who's been doing this for I'm not sure how long, but it was difficult for her just understanding what on earth they were talking about. So for me personally, it was extremely difficult, but it meant that basically I was able to actually apply for pretty much twice as many jobs as I was before, and also going on courses and that, and obviously because of them I'm now here. Great, hooray. So it means that I'm able to do more stuff, get myself there and hopefully get some money, because I am completely penniless at the minute.
Maria, before you said about navigators, so but your group sort of falls under the mental health concern umbrella, is that right?
That's right. So that's our lead charity. Mental health concern is our lead partner, because we are a charity program, so we're set up based from 13 different charities.
because previous guests, they might have heard of them, Wheels to Wellness.
Oh yeah, yeah.
And Tara and Ashley came in, and they have a role there called link workers, and you mentioned navigators as well. I wondered if those two roles were quite similar in how you deal with people, either on one-to-one basis or group basis. Is that
we actually work a lot with Waste Wellness.
Okay.
So the crux of our program is we help people access other services as much as provide that one-to-one support.
So signposting.
Absolutely, signposting is a crucial part of it. So navigators really do what it sounds like. They help people navigate that path. So it's not that participants on the program are passed along. They're simply told where they can get the help that they need. And there are so many amazing services across Tyne and Wear, and it's just about making sure that people who need them know that they're there.
And so do these involve things like innovation projects that I've read on your website?
Yeah.
So these are self-help sessions, is that right? Yeah.
There's a variety of different innovation projects. So when we originally started, we work from 5 different local areas across Tyne and Wear. So we work from Newcastle, Gateshead, Sunderland, North Tyneside and South Tyneside. And each of those areas was able to set up an innovation project outside of their core delivery. So those innovation projects range from peer support, peer research, looking at STEM industries and looking at long-term health conditions. And one of the projects, which was actually originally based in Sunderland, is called Pathways, and that's now been extended across Tyne and Wear.
Great.
Pathways offers additional support to people who have needs based because they're on the autistic spectrum or have learning difficulties. So that's been a really successful project, and it's now operating across the whole area.
So I guess, Ryan, because I mean, I was going to just jokingly say about but the proof's in the pudding, I guess, Maria, is to ask Ryan, like, sort of, directly, is what benefits you got, like, once you start, not benefits as in you as a credit, I don't mean that way. I mean the benefit in a personal sense of, in getting involved in Maria's, organizations and getting, help through your difficulties. Like, what I'm saying is, what was it like before, and what was it like as a consequence of getting the help?
Well, before, I was essentially just getting absolutely nowhere. No matter, it was trying to basically, first of all, just find jobs and stuff, and try and, develop my skills in that. But since going on there, it's basically helped me in a way that's basically, it's the difficult bit is actually searching for stuff, looking for stuff, finding it, and then also getting on these courses, giving me new opportunities to basically put more stuff on my CV so it looks more impressive than it obviously did before, and it's allowing me to more stuff that I actually want to do, rather than, because obviously on Universal Credit you've got to apply for every single job you're qualified to do, which obviously is something that can be, like, for example, I have to apply, like, for example, if a cleaner position and that comes available, I have to apply for that. At the same time, I'm wanting to apply for, say, IT jobs or jobs in filming, stuff like that. So it's kind of like a massive spectrum. However, with this, it's a lot more focused on, basically, they're helping me to, get the job and do the work that I actually want to do, that I'm actually passionate about. Because I think if you're doing something you don't really like doing and not passionate about, then you're not going to be doing a good job at it, and you're just going to be honest, you're going to be feeling worse. You're going to be feeling actually depressed for the fact that you're doing something you don't like doing.
Not fulfilling.
Fulfilling.
I mean, it's so fascinating that, because there's a number of things in what you said there, because in some cases it's getting you off a statistic, is what a lot of the things that they try and do. But also another powerful point you said is that it exasperates your mental health a lot of the time if you're trying to do something you don't want to do, and it would make a great deal more sense to, as you just said, that you're now getting, is just the encouragement to try and look for something you actually want to do. I think that's not said enough or helped enough in terms of in that kind of stuff. I'm curious as well about your dyslexia, because that's something we share, and I think it's interesting because of the age you're at, because I only really dealt with, or whatever the right terminology is, with my dyslexia when I got to university. I wasn't really even aware I had dyslexia before then, and I'm just curious to know, like, when you found out, and like, how do you deal with it?
9 years old when I found out.
Wow, okay, quite early then.
Yeah, because basically during my last year of first school, basically my teacher at the time, spotted that, we might have dyslexia, and that I was actually tested, and yes, I did have dyslexia.
Yeah.
I had no idea what it meant, but at the time, but it meant that basically, they gave us extra help with stuff and that, and so as that made stuff easier because, for example, I remember a lot of the time would have what I would call the helper teacher, who would basically, when everyone else had to copy a load of writing off the board, it meant that they would write it all for me, which, to be honest, made it a lot easier for me. So I could just sit there and have it all written down for me. I had no idea what it said anyway, so...
So what does your job entail, Maria?
So I'm a communications officer, so for me personally, I really try and get the message out there of what the program does, and try and get as many people who fit the service to sign up.
Okay, that makes sense.
Yeah.
Mm-hmm. So you're like the salesman,
if you want to call it that, I'll take it. Yeah.
Yeah. No, that makes sense because obviously, I mean, this is one of the reasons that we exist as a radio show is to give people, like Ryan. I mean, and I've been a service user before, is to give people the signpost and I mean, we talked about this on an earlier interview. I don't know if this is something you share, but it's like GPs who are skilled and know what they're doing, but they don't have the ability to signpost in the right direction. Do you feel that's something you share?
Definitely, yeah. And I think the good thing about our program is the whole team does work together. So the people that deliver the support work really closely with the program team who do the back end. And I think that's really important to having success because they know what people need and I know how to find those people. So it's about that balance, really.
I want to ask you, Maria, do you think part of the issue you talk about, there's barriers there with people with mental health challenges getting into employment. Do you think part of the issue is that that mental health in the workplace is such a big taboo? That in itself is a barrier. And how do you think the system in itself does it need to be overhauled or creatively challenged in a way? I guess I'm talking from a point of view that, most of us who have mental health issues, we want to work, we want to contribute, but it's almost like the system out there doesn't allow us to because we have to put in 110% commitment wise and not as people out there as sympathetic employers and so forth.
Absolutely, there's still definitely a stigma around mental health. There's absolutely no denying that, but looking at it positively, we are seeing it break more and more all the time. And I think a lot of what our program does is educate employers. We have a whole employer engagement team, so we work on showing employers that people who have got health barriers can work and can be able members of society just like everyone else. So I think education is key. Getting the word out there is exactly how we change things and make sure that everyone has an equal opportunity to contribute.
My parole officer found me. Oh no! I have to cut the show short. I always forget that I need to turn that off when someone's attempting to ring, because I don't think they realise it goes directly to the studio. So I think that's the issue because we've got a full interview in 5 minutes time, hopefully. But yeah, I guess so if anyone's listened to this, Ryan, because one of the things that because me and Ricky are very open about expressing our past experiences and what we went through, and obviously with having you as a guest on now, people might be listening to this because we always think of when we've got in our head, people might be listening who are stuck in a room feeling horrible about themselves, and because I've got bipolar disorder, I think what if I speak what it's like for me, maybe that'll help them take the leap they need to do to get the help they need. And I'm just curious, based on the fact that you're in that process of recovery, as it were, or getting the help you need to get on with your life essentially, what would your advice be to people who might be in that situation now?
My advice to people is that basically you've just got to keep going on, keep pushing on, no matter what obstacle that you find in front of you. I mean, a lot of people will try to put you down, but the thing that puts yourself down with mental illness basically is essentially a bully or a barrier in your head that basically you just have to keep pushing forward, pushing through it. And it's also something that you can get as many people as you like to help being good. They should be there to support you, but at the end of the day, it's something that you've got to cope with. Mental health doesn't go away. It's not one of those things that has a cure to it. It's just something you have to deal with, and the better you learn to cope with it, the better it is for your life, so you can just get on with your life and not have to worry about that.
Great. Great answer. What a great way to end. Like, I mean, what a great summary, because yeah, it is all about persevering essentially, and I'm so pleased you said that, because I don't think it's said enough. Is no such thing as having a cure for something. With mental health, I think that's what people want, is they want you to not feel the way you are, but you know, you are who you are. You know, everyone's all got different things to deal with, and that happens to be your not, I was going to say vice, but it's not even a vice really. Sometimes it can be positive. I certainly talk about that with bipolar disorder, is that, you know, it literally does ebb and flow, but I mean that in a positive and negative way in my life, that it can be good as well as bad. It's just finding what works for you. So yeah, beautifully said. So just where can they get involved in the organisation? Like, how can they get in touch with you, Maria?
So people can refer themselves directly, or organisations working with people can get in touch with us and pass people on. So you can find us online, just www.motw.org.uk, or you can give us a ring on 0191 217 3206, and someone will be happy to tell you more about the programme and talk about your options.
Fantastic. Thank you so much, guys, for coming on.
Thanks for having us.
Yeah, that's very good. Thanks, Ryan, for being so honest. Good luck with everything. Hope you find the did you say you were trying to get in film? Was that what you were just saying?
Yeah,
there?
well, I've run 5 YouTube channels, and the 5th one that literally debuted a couple of weeks ago. It's called the Dumfries Doncaster podcast. It's a fictional podcast audio series, and it's about mental health, where basically the main character has anger issues, and each series is going to deal with, like, first series, anger issues and depression. Second series is going to be about, right, how do I move on from that? So that's what I'm doing, to basically, you know, try and use my experiences in that to try and relate with people.
In a creative way. Yeah, that's what you should do. That's awesome. Great. Well, good luck with all that, and thanks, Maria, for coming in. Good luck with your continuous success and everything, and thanks for promote the message of support. That's what we want.
Thanks for hovering outside as well.
Oh, anytime. I'll come back and hover anytime.
Yeah. It's like a ghost from Christmas Past. But yeah, thanks guys so much. Right, what we're going to do now, like I just mentioned at the start of the interview, is we're going to try and attempt to finish the rest of that interview we did with Helen on the 6th of October, and then we have a phone interview with I can never pronounce his name. What was his name? Bryony. Yeah, Bryony. Yeah, from Missing People, which is interesting because the reported missing program on BBC at the minute. Good comparison. So we're going to play that now, and then we'll be right back, hopefully with the phone interview right after this.